the way the Attorney General put it, this enterprise, their operations and their figures in there, did this come out as a surprise to you?
You see, when people are given access to public office, it's not for them to go and embezzle public funds. When a party wins power, I always say that NDC and MPP, when they win power, you can find 100,000 well-qualified people to hold positions in government. But appointments will not even exceed 2,000. So when you are among the privileged, given the opportunity to serve in public office, you are there to protect the public purse and make sure that the nation makes progress. So for me, if any public official is found guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction through due process to have misapplied public money, I have no sympathy for that person. Okay. Ghana law says you are what? Innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
The Attorney General who knows this said that has already convicted people by saying that it's a criminal enterprise because it's making pronouncement.
Yeah.
I think if something is a criminal enterprise, it's a suspicion. And I think the Attorney General should be mindful of his words, because if you say it's a suspicion, you are investigating. But if you make the pronouncement it's a criminal enterprise, it means that you already determined the fate of the people, you already determined the case. But I think that pronouncement doesn't lie in the mouth of the Attorney General. That pronouncement only lies in the mouth of the court.
The courts.
So I think that the Attorney General is being carried away by the public support, party support and all that. I believe that an Attorney General should not be speaking the way he speaks. I think that the caution should be there. We are journalists, and when we write such story, we are told that we should say allege, we say suspicion, we say accused. We don't make categorical statements as though the person has been found guilty by a court. And that is why I have said that this public press conferences by the Attorney General, if you ask me, it is needless. We need the pronouncements to be made by court, then we can work with it.
Because you don't think you should be given updates on the cases they are looking into?
Why should you give me an update? What do I need an update for? I need a court to make pronouncement for me to know what you presented to the court is factual or not. You can make allegations against people. States have done investigation against people and they have gone to court and the state lost the cases badly. So the fact that the state says I found A, B, C, D does not mean that I should take it hook, line, and sinker. It's when the court make a pronouncement that the evidence presented by the state against Mr. A or Madam B has been found to be strong enough to convict the person. Then when I'm discussing the issues from that perspective, then I'm discussing something that the court said they found to be what? Good evidence. The fact that you said you have found it does not mean that when you get to the court is going to say that you are right. Because the person that you are making allegation also has a legal team that is supposed to also make their case in court to the judge to make it clear that, oh, we think here is right or wrong. And so for me, in this Fourth Republic, I'm becoming more reserved in terms of discussing such accusations against people. Because I've seen people who accusations have been made against, they go to court, they win the case, but the damage to their reputation, everything remain on the internet and in public minds forever. We were here when Ilan Tebandaba was narrating his story about how he was accused and all the media publication and when they went to the investigation, the state could not even go to court because they have found that there's really nothing. It's not true. But that allegation had been made against him. Media houses carried it. Today, if you Google his name on the internet, it will pop up. It will pop up. But nobody has found that. The state has not come back to tell the public that the allegation was made against Ilan Tebandaba is false. So anybody who Googles that issue in the next 20 years, I will still think that Niante had done something wrong. And that is why we need to be careful when we are doing that. As I said, if anybody steals public money, I don't have sympathy for the person. The state must deal with the person. But I think the appropriate forum to deal with the person is to carry your case to court. All the things you are going to narrate at the press conference, if they are indeed factual, go to a court. Let the court do the pronouncement. And then when the court make the pronouncement, we will then come and discuss the court pronouncement, or if the court has found this person guilty on this issue, then this is what we think. But I think we are invited to discuss these issues, and if we are not careful, we'll be making statements and be saying things that will further damage the reputation of the people, and then if tomorrow the person wins the case, we have already destroyed the person. National Service Scheme, this is not the first time people are being accused of doing something or doing things like this at National Service. And you see, I think the Attorney General, he should be, you see, it's a man I like so much. I've never met him before, but I listen to other lawyers talk about him. I look at how he does his work. Until he became Attorney General, I see him as somebody that, but the way he's doing things now, I'm afraid sometimes I'm scared. They ask him about A plus who has been accusing him. He said, oh, they are considering, they're having discussions with him about whether they want to use him as prosecution witness or something. You are prosecuting a corruption case, the person comes to level direct accusation against you, and now you are saying that you want to consider that person for prosecution witness. How do you expect the public to think? So if you are not come to the public to do all this announcement and had gone to court, and then in the court prayer you're using as prosecutor, there will be no public impugnment of your reputation in this matter. But for you to come and make allegations, and the person comes at you, also make allegations against you, and then now you are turning to come and tell us that you are considering the person as public as what do you think the public who is listening to you to think? Are you not creating the impression for people to suspect?
Elvis, there are those who
suspect that maybe because A plus made allegations against you, that is why you are now thinking you have to use him as a
there are those who argue that this public briefings is important. That is important you update the public and carry them along, because if you do not do so, justice may be procured.
Procured by who? Procured by who? And if it's procured, who said that if the case goes through this public announcement, if justice will be procured, it cannot be procured? Says who? It is some of these perceptions people are bringing. That is why the judicial system and everything will have a problem. As I said, the AG himself should be careful, because his own reputation is at stake. Because if you are doing public press conferences, your utterances and things could hurt you. In the dropping of the major cases that they came to meet, one of the things said that he consulted the lawyers of the people being prosecuted. So if I'm being prosecuted, or I have a client being prosecuted, and an AG comes and says, oh, do you think I have to prosecute this person, or I should drop the case? Do you think I should tell that continue to prosecute the person? So for him to tell us publicly that he consulted the lawyers of the people being prosecuted, I think that the kind of things he's saying at some of these press conferences, he should sit back, or he need communication people, experts to sit back and be advising him and say, look, what you are doing, you may think you are carrying the public along, but if you are not careful, at the end of the day, the damage you cause to your own reputation as AG, you may never be able to repair it. Because if you tell me that you are dropping major corruption cases being tried before your party came to power, and as part of the processes to drop the case, you consulted lawyers of the people that are being prosecuted, and how do you expect the public who is listening to you to think about you?
But same public has the right to information.
I'm saying that you, the person, say, what do you think them to think about you? The public is not banned from having information. Information goes to the court. Once you file the court, it becomes public information. If a journalist is interested, goes to pick the information, want to publish, it can publish. I'm saying that this media trial that are going on, he as an AG himself needs to be very mindful, because the potential damages it could cause to his reputation. I'm pointing two things to him. That you said you were dropping major cases, and as part of the process, you consulted lawyers of the people being prosecuted. Anybody who is sitting back there listening, how can the AG say he has consulted people who have been prosecuted in order to drop a case? In my right sense, if I'm a lawyer defending somebody in court, and AG says, me, I'm a new government, I'm a new AG, I'm new AG, I want to ask you, do you think that I should continue prosecuting your client or not? You expect me to say, I should say no? So that statement itself, if people sit by and begin to analyze it and ask questions, it has some reputational issues for him. And for him to also come and say National Service and MP has been involved, the MP has taken a bribe, that was the words he used. And then the person who suspected him came at you and leveled serious corruption allegations against you. And now you are asked, what is the status of the investigation in terms of that MP. And I attend that you are having discussion with the person to see whether you can use him for prosecution witness. And if you come and tell the person who is sitting back that, so the person, because the person accused you, now you are thinking of making prosecution witness. Why will you take that decision? If the person, will you take the same decision if the person are not level accusation against
you are covering up your own.
So you see, the reputational damage to himself, based on some of these releases, some of this press conference, I think he needs an expert communication to tell him that, look, AG, focus on your prosecution. If you convict people, Ghanaians will clap for you. We are not going to clap for you today because you are giving a press conference. If we clap for you today and you go to court and lose the case, the damage that you suffer will be bigger than the claps we are giving to you. And I don't believe in situations where you are doing investigation. So you want to be giving people updates and all these press conferences. Look, as I said, if those allegations are found to be true against the people, they are serious allegations. This is public money, and there's no way I will sit here and say somebody misapply public money and I'll come and defend the person. But I think that those people too, they are Ghanaians and human beings, and they should be given the right to go to court. And you heard the former sports minister who said people should just ignore whatever they say. And he believes that if you have held public office, you should be ready for accountability. He's ready to go to court to prove himself. Assuming without admitting that he goes to court and indeed wins. Look at all the press conferences, his name being mentioned, and the damage that would have been done to his reputation before going to court. So I think that my advice to the AG, that he himself is reputation, and the kind of reputation that will come when cases are decided by the court, wherever way it goes, he should rather stick to going to the court, get the convictions, and then we clap for him. But this clap that he's seeking for before going to court, if he's not careful, the turn of events in court could become some. And see, you made a statement about procurement. If you are not careful, your actions could also damage the judiciary. Because if you are come to create the impression to the public as if the person have already been convicted by you, and then they go to court and they win, then that suspicion that you are raising that procure judgment then comes to mind. People say, but the AG made us to believe that the people were guilty. How did the judges clear them? So you also created a reputational crisis for the judiciary. Probably you lost the case genuinely, but because you already made the public to believe that the people are already guilty before going to court, if they go to court and the evidence shows that, well, maybe what you found, there are loopholes, and this is criminal prosecution. With the least doubt, you lose your case. And if it happens that way, it's not only the agents that get damaged, but the judiciary and the judges who will be sitting on this case, who may now look at the evidence and say this person is not guilty, will now be accused of all kinds of things because the agent has already created a platform for that.